Welcome back to Blast Guys Reviews. In this review, we're going to be taking a look at the new Joytoy Officialations Warhammer 40k Chaos Space Marines Black Legion Chaos Terminator Gornoth. This is the packaging it comes in. It's a relatively larger box than you usually see for the characters. This is a big boy. See the artwork on the front. On the top left there, we have the Joytoy Warhammer logos, recommended for ages 15 and up. All the information at the bottom of the name of the character and everything else that you would commonly see. Top of the box, we have the Warhammer 40k logo. Bottom of the box, same thing. Side of the box here, all the names, the copyright information. If they interest you, you can pause and read that on your own time. And on this side, company information, product information, age recommendations, recycle symbol, UPC. You can pause and read that if the information interests you. There's the back of the box. Shows a few different product images and the content statement. Here's in his clamshell, how he's packaged. He's huge. Okay, here is his card. Nice artwork. The card comes in like a plastic wrap. I took it off because it does a lot of glaring. Here's the back of the card, pretty much all in Chinese except for his name. None of you guys get your figure. It's gonna be, the box is gonna be wrapped in plastic wrap. Again, I took it off because of the glaring with the lights. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the figure outside the clamshell. Okay, here he is outside the clamshell. Man, he's massive. He's heavy. It's a lot of plastic. It's a solid plastic figure. No hollowness in this figure, man. I bet he's definitely over a pound in weight. Well, that's a lot of plastic. Looks pretty wild. Alright, so what I'm going to do here, because this is a big guy and it's hard to keep in the frame, I'm going to pick the camera up and we're going to take a look at him all around 360. All his features, all his paint, all his aesthetics, all of his awesomeness. So let's get started. Alright, for the top of this guy, he's got some serious fence stakes attached to the top of his power armor. We have the skulls in the front. They're facing to the right and to the left. So we'll take a look at them on the front as we take a look at the sides. Let's go down to his head sculpt, man. This is like a, man, it just kind of creeps me out a little bit. This gray, leathery face. It's a scar across his eye. Just kind of freaky, chubby little guy here. Man, that's just something we see out of a horror movie. We have that very large lip there around his top of his armor. There's a collar. It's done in gold. Down at the bottom here, we have some very nice detailing on his chest, stomach area. Down here we have this is a leather piece of the red with the chain. Well, it's kind of, I guess it's kind of a piece of a chainmail, and then a skull. It's all like a vinyl material. The skull's not really a full skull, but it's definitely a 3D sculpted piece. Down to his some gold around his ankles of his shin armor and his massive feet there. Really like the sculpting on that. Guess that made it look like it's some kind of demon with you know, very large mouth open. That's very nicely sculpted. Very nice. We got a massive hand. Smaller hand on this side. Gauntlets with the black and the gold trim. Okay, on this side you can see the skull, painted with black eyes, nose, and those stakes, his fence post. You can see behind the other two skulls there on the other side. We'll be taking a look at here shortly. Couple either teeth or claws there with the Black Legion's insignia. That's huge. That's a very large pad. You can see some fur sticking out the bottom of this thing. See if I get this to come in. Yes, there we go. I might be a little bit of remnants of his past chapter. These guys, from what I can tell or what I've read, is that these used to be the previous chapter was the Lunar Wolves. So you can see just a little bit left of that interpretation of this character. Gauntlet. There is the side of his shin guard. It's pretty cool. This side's got a lot more going on. We have the 2 skulls. We have the Marine skull with the helmet on. That's pretty awesome. Hope we get some of those for figures. And this is just amazing. That metallic red, almost like translucent piece there. Spikes sticking through. And we have the spikes there around the gold trim. There's a little bit more of that fur. We have a hose coming out the back from underneath the shoulder pauldron to the back of the elbow area of this gauntlet. Do we have more of those gold trim design, kind of like those fence stakes? You can see his shin armor there. It's pretty nice. That is really cool. That is awesome. Like something trying to break through his armor and come out. Here's the top of him. Really nice sculpt work, a lot going on. Down towards the back, he has these gunmetal vents. He has no power pack or any kind of backpack. Of his belt, some more of that sculpt work there, 2 cylinder circles, some white teeth there just on his back plate. Down through. Pretty awesome. Let's look at his hands. Gripping hand and this massive paw he's got going on here. Alright, so I'm going to kind of put the camera back down and we're going to take some more looks at look at this guy and some other things that we didn't get a chance to see. So that paw, there's no articulation in these fingers. There's very sharp claw-like. Underneath here, we have this device here. Not sure what that's for. I thought maybe that's what help hold that very large weapon that he has, but actually starts here. You know, he holds it with this hand, obviously. Not sure what that is. If you know what that is, comment down below, let us know. Here on the side of his armor, he has a skull, and it has it tied through the eyes and on the back of the skull there. That's pretty mean. So getting a closer look at these legs, it's like he used to be maybe a cripple or something. His back was broke. He has all these braces done in black and some gunmetal pistons maybe. Looks wild. It's incredible. Better look at the back. Here's the top. Oops. He's a big guy. He's hard to hold on to. Actually, there's a lot going on. There's sharp pieces on this guy too. So nothing seems to fall stuff of this piece a little bit. Let's get that out of the way and take a look at this armor. This is incredible. The sculpting, the design is just insane. Very nice. Very large feet. And that face is just disturbing in my opinion. Alright, so let's go and take a look at the articulation. Now, knowing that this guy's massive, and he's going to definitely have some hindrance in articulation, so nothing at the top that moves around. His head, we can turn it sideways, back to front. You can turn it this way. It's done on a ball bell peg, I should say. He can down, up. Pretty cool. For the arms, they're ratcheted. You can feel like a ratcheting system. 360. These very large shoulder pads. They're on their own. They're on their own ball peg, and you can move them around, manipulate them a little bit. Pretty nice. Double jointed elbows. The arm rotates 360 all the way around. You got articulation at the wrist all the way around like this. Up and down. Back and forth. Very nice. There's chest articulation. And there's a piece that falls off. Down, back. 360 rotation if you want it. I'm not going to fully do it because it knocks everything off. About that much on a split for this big guy. Pretty good for that. Sitting is pretty much not going to happen. Thigh swivel, double jointed knees. It's kind of hindered a little bit because of this braces, I guess I want to call it. I don't know what those are, but I'm only going to get about 90 on that leg. About 90 on that leg. Feet do pivot down, up the tad, either side to side. Toe articulation is there. It goes up. Very stiff though. And if you wanted to, I'm sure you could force it for a 360 all the way around. I don't know why you want to. It's a pretty sturdy piece for being very heavy. This is the only piece I want to fall off all the time. So here's a look at that. Ball peg goes right into this hole here. And you can see, you really got to bend his legs and stick him up. Like, get this little ball peg that's right there. And then try to line it up and push down on it. It goes on fairly easy. You just got to watch. It does knock off. My copy does, at least. But it's not a deal breaker. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Very, very nice figure. Massive. Alright, so what we're going to do now is take a look at a couple accessories that it comes with. It's not many, believe it or not. So, first thing we're just going to get out of the way is his alternate hand. You get one alternate hand. It's a tighter grip. And it goes on this hand. You don't get a replacement hand for this side here. One thing I noticed about these ones, it's not as flexible as the Space Marines. It's very stiff. So that definitely is going to be an issue with this guy's weapon. But before we take a look at his weapon, we're going to look at his helmet. And it is fantastic. Wow. We have some tusk here on the bottom. From brown into the bone color. Same for the spike between his eyes. Or just, well, yeah, between his eyes. Almost near the nose area. Here between the two tusks, we have like a vent done in a gunmetal or black wash, red eyes, looking very menacing. Alright, so he looks amazing. Let's go and take the head he has on, off, and let's try to put this on and see how he looks. Well, just in case you're interested, there's the ball peg. You get one ball bell peg for the head, and it kind of just stays in the body, so you don't get extra like you do on some of the other figures. One thing I noticed about this is extremely difficult to get that to sit in there. It's almost like the diameter is just a bit too tight. I can't get it down in there. It kind of just wants to collapse itself, or snug itself in basically into that cylinder. That looks amazing. That's a killer helmet, man. I'm pretty sure that the ball peg is not in the helmet, but it kind of just like stays there because it's, yeah, that's going to be extremely difficult to get it. You may have to remove that peg, but for our purposes, this will work just as fine for now. Menacing. I love that. What a Terminator this guy is. Alright, let's take a look at his weapon. Wow, this thing is massive and fully loaded with details. Gunmetal here, silver wash throughout, like on the barrels also. We have a chain here. It spikes all over it. It's kind of irritating when you touch it. It's not flexible or anything. That'd be nice if that was actually a real metal chain. Look at those screaming gold skulls with the black eyes. That's wild. Here you can see the very large shells this gun takes, done in gold. This is actually movable. The black with the gold trim. Here's the handle of the weapon. The top of it. These gold pieces here to kind of hold the two barrels in place. Probably going to help with stability when he's firing this massive weapon. Here's the other side. This is insane. This looks realistic. I love how the paint on this is. This was a gold chain. This would be a perfect piece. Now this feels hollow. This doesn't look as heavy as you would think. Looks like it's just two pieces put together. It's the back of it. Front obviously is drilled out. Drilled through the side there for the gases to escape. Now I find that this is quite difficult to put this weapon on in his hand. So my recommendation is if you want it on his hand perfectly, remove his hand, drop this down, insert your hand because this is a very stiff plastic. Get the hand on there at least. Pull this back up and then put the peg back into the hand or the rest of the figure. So I'll go ahead and do that now, and let's take a look to see how cool he looks with the weapon in his hand. Here's what that would look like. It's extremely difficult to get that on there. And then we're going to pull this up and we're going to stick it on. Okay, here he is. That's very fiddly, very difficult, very irritating. The red piece fell off again. But you can get it if you just put the time in. Not the best design, but it looks amazing. Very awesome. Gonna be careful manipulating this, can fall off. You're not gonna get a whole lot of posability out of this. But pretty cool nonetheless. Okay, here's a size comparison from a Space Marine and a normal 19 scale figure. You see how massive he is. Alright, well I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, don't forget to comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Forget to hit that notification bell, like the video if you could. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next review.